You're watching Allied Services Friday Night Rivals, presented by Dixon City Hyundai and Performance Kia.
The majestic Lake Wallenpaupack sits idle on this Friday night, but boats will fill the lake on this beautiful weekend in Pike County. Welcome inside Wallenpaupack Stadium. We're in Palmyra Township for tonight's Lackawanna Football Conference crossover matchup between number 6 Scranton Prep and Wallenpaupack. Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Ide. Hannah O'Reilly will join us shortly on the sidelines, and in the booth with me, once again, former Tunkhannock area coach Jan Seachak. And Jan, we expected Scranton Prep to come into this game maybe undefeated. Wallenpaupack has been a pleasant surprise.
Coach Doc Watson is extremely happy with his team's performance the last 2 weeks. He said the first week of school was the best ever in his coaching career, and these young men have come out here and they've put a hurt on the last 2 teams they've played.
The Cavaliers have one of the best rushing attacks in all of the Lackawanna Football Conference, and it all starts with our Toyota Spotlight player, London Montgomery.
Well, what hasn't been said about London Montgomery in his short career here? He ran for 373 yards last week, 7 yards shy of the Lackawanna League running record, and he has 10 touchdowns this year.
Oh, amazing job. On the other side, another potent running attack, and it's led by our other Toyota Spotlight player, Cedric Ajay.
Cedric is just an amazing young man. Very quiet, very focused in what he's going to do tonight. He just said to me, Coach, I just want to get out there and we want to win tonight. He's got 267 yards, 6 touchdowns this year, but he's only played 1 full game. Coach Watson has pulled his starters after the first half because they've been doing so well.
Well, we talked about the lake. We saw the video of the lake. The boats will be out here this weekend, but will it remain beautiful tonight? Let's check in now with meteorologist Allie Debicki from the Fox 56 News, first at 10.
Hey there, everybody. We have your Friday Night Rivals forecast. Scranton Prep at Wallenpaupack tonight. Going to be a all good on the field forecast. It will feel a little bit cooler, though, especially compared to earlier this week. Check out our kickoff temperatures. 64, much more fall-like for us. Our dew points are also coming down. Might feel more comfortable for us, but still a little bit cool. Winds will be a bit breezy at times, especially off the lake, so keep that in mind. By halftime, we're looking clear with a temperature near 57 degrees. We're going to send it over to the field for more. We'll see you back here in just a bit.
Both teams are ready to go. Only one team will remain undefeated after tonight's game. Will it be Scranton Prep or Wallenpaupack? We'll find out next.
You're watching Allied Services Friday Night Rivals, presented by Dixon City Hyundai and Performance Kia.
We're back along the Lake Wallenpaupack for tonight's Friday Night Rivals game between 2 undefeated teams in the Lackawanna Football Conference. Beautiful night for high school football, and surprisingly, these 2 teams haven't met in a long time. And for more on that, let's head down to Hannah O'Reilly on the sidelines.
That's right, beautiful night, Bob and Jan. We are at Lake Wallenpaupack tonight, and it's always a great sight to see fans in the stands, cheerleaders, a band, and of course, 2 teams that are ready to play. Now tonight, we have Lake Wallenpaupack against Scranton Prep, and like you mentioned, these 2 teams have not played each other since 2015, with Scranton Prep coming out on top at 35-7. But tonight, I don't know if it's going to be as easy of a game. Both of these teams are undefeated with a record of 2-0, and they both have some of the best running backs on their team. So it really is anybody's game tonight, and we're excited to see who comes out on top. Bob and Jan?
Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you, Hannah. In fact, the Buckhorns haven't won since 2011, so it's the 9th meeting between these 2 schools, which is surprising. And both teams are on the field, and a little bit of purple is the theme tonight. Purple on both sides.
On both sides,
a little bit of purple on Scranton Prep. Of course, they're in the white jerseys tonight with the gold and purple trim. On the other side, opposite us in the press box, the all purple pants and purple jerseys.
The Buckhorns,
Buckhorns from Wallenpaupack.
What a beautiful night, Bob, as you said. I mean, what a great atmosphere. I think it's capacity crowd, too. All the fans here from both sides, all the fans traveled up from Scranton.
And you mentioned both sides, an unusual stadium. There are no fans on the opposite side. All the fans are right next to each other. So as we get a shot maybe of the crowd, a lot of purple.
There is.
We're going to see a lot of purple in the stands.
I like this one guy. I saw an Eagles jersey there. There he is.
He stands up. He's wearing
baby.
green. So the coin toss is taking place. They did the coin toss actually at 6:30 like most teams do. Scranton Prep won the toss. They took the ball. So we're going to see a offense in Scranton Prep that's averaging 49 points per game. They scored that twice already this season.
I'll tell you, Coach Gallagher has got the Cavaliers going in obviously a great direction, and he doesn't want to let down tonight, and he knows this is going to be the first real challenge. Actually, for both coaches said that this is our first real challenge of the year, and they're expecting a I was going to say a slobber knocker of a game, but they know it's going to be a hard hitting, and it's just going to come down to one play.
There you see Coach Dr. Mark Watson, 16th season at Wallenpaupack, and as you mentioned in our pregame, pleasantly surprised about this team. 2-0, had a real good week of practice, and this will be the first test, as you mentioned, with both teams in the Lackawanna football conference. So we're going to see two big offensive lines, two big defensive lines, some active linebackers, and the over-under in throws, because these teams don't want to throw the ball with their quarterbacks. And we asked Coach Pasqualiccio from Scranton Prep, he said maybe 7 on each side.
Maybe, that might be pushing it. And again, you have the league leading rusher from Scranton Prep, London Montgomery, and then we have Mr. Ajay from Wallenpaupack, who, like I said in our pregame, only has 267 yards this year and 6 touchdowns, but he's only played 1 full game. So this is going to be a great game in terms of offense, and the defenders are going to have to step up and really do their job this evening.
Roman Levant will tee it up at the 40, back to receive. Freshman Tay Weeks and London Montgomery back to receive, two speedsters back there. In fact, Tay Weeks is just a freshman, and he showed a lot of promise coming out of the North Scranton Vikings program.
He did, and London Montgomery last year won a medal at the state track meet.
He won 2 bronze medals in the 100 and 200, and we're underway. And Lake Wallenpaupack Montgomery fields it in his end zone, and that's where Scranton Prep will take the ball out to the 20-yard line. His first season underneath center, Sean Monahan in the game tonight.
Well, he's got a nice, big, experienced offensive line out there. We have 4 seniors and 1 junior, which is actually the opposite of what Wallenpaupack's offensive line is. They have 4 juniors and a sophomore playing on their side. They're averaging 250 pounds across the board, the Cavaliers are.
And Sean's only thrown about 7 passes on the year, as you saw. Montgomery off the right-hand side, up for a couple of yards. So let's check in now with the Dixon City Hyundai starting lineup for the Cavaliers of Scranton Prep. They have Monahan and Montgomery in the backfield. 3 wide receivers, 2 right receivers, Robert Rossi in there, very talented, 100 yards or 1,000 yards on his season. Watch out for Donovan Williams, and a big senior-oriented offensive line led by Kellen Doughton at senior. A senior center. Montgomery to the outside, still on his feet, and Montgomery up for a figure law first down past the 36-yard line.
Wow, what I liked was Aiden Colleran, number 31 for Scranton Prep, comes in motion and he collapses that inside the defensive end, and then here comes the pulling guard, number 52, to help clean up there. That was Anthony Nicotero.
So the first down of the game from Scranton Prep. Couple of runs by London Montgomery. Monahan now in the shotgun. First pass of the night, little swing pass out to McGuire. McGuire's caught behind the line of scrimmage. A great defensive effort by the Buckhorns, by Justin Stella.
Well, I know Doc Watson was concerned about the speed. And again, Scranton Prep does some things that are, I don't want to say predictable, but they've done this deep motion and they've done this swing pass a bunch of times in their previous 2 games. So that was a great defensive call there for the Buckhorns.
McGuire's first pass reception of the season. 2nd and 16 now, facing the Cavaliers. who averaged 317 yards on the ground, 393 total yards on the year. Montgomery trying to swing it, cuts it back. Big hit on the inside by the Buckhorns. Ionetta with the tackles. Let's check out now your Dixon City Hyundai defense for Wallenpaupack. Rosa, Phillip, and Gugan on the defensive tackle. They'll play a 3-4 defense. Shock in the middle, a very good one, but watch out for Martucci. 11 total tackles on the season, 4 sacks. And then the secondary, Schmalzley, 8 total tackles and a tackle for a loss, one of the best safeties in the state. Monahan on 3rd and long, has plenty of time, looks downfield, throws it across his body, trying to hit Rossi coming back. It goes incomplete. And that will bring out the punt team for Scranton Prep, a rarity this year.
And you'll see right here, there's great coverage there in the secondary. He's rolling, looks, and he's always going to look at his best receiver, and that's Rossi. Again, he's 6'4", he's a big target, and we know that that young man has caught a bunch of touchdowns and is a game maker.
So Rossi does the kicking. Good snap, good long kick. Back Stella up to his 30. Spins out of one tackle, but comes back on number 4, Aiden Cullen with the tackle. So that means we'll see first-year quarterback Brett Levant in there. 117 yards, 3 touchdowns, and the coach really likes what they've seen from him so far in his first year starting.
Coach Watson couldn't say enough great things about this young man. A 4.3 GPA. He's looking at Army. He's looking at Carnegie Mellon. He's taken this offense and he's embraced it. He works himself really to the bone, as Coach said. He's really an overachiever.
So a J next to Levant. Single back offense. 5-man front from the Cavaliers. Levant going to keep him himself. Good pursuit coming in is Gentile. And the free safety, number 21, makes the tackle for a loss of 1.
Again, right here, they're trying to get to the outside. We would end up calling that like an 18 blast because the halfback was back there. He was supposed to, that's AJ, he's supposed to come up and lead block for the quarterback.
So this offense averaging 304 total yards in the first 2 games, 45 points overall in their wins against West and Honesdale this year. 4-man front again for the Cavaliers. Levant going to try to find some room, and they can't. Big Jimmy Burke there for Scranton Prep. So now your Dixon City Hyundai starting lineup for Wallenpaupack on the offense, and we saw them before. Levant, Jay, and Pearson will be the fullback when he is in there. As I mentioned, Schmalzley, one of the best wide receivers, free safeties in the state. And then up front, very young, but very big.
Boy, I'll tell you, Coach Watson was really singing these young men's praises, how they've come together as a team, and being 2-0, it's really bonded them even more, and now they got a huge task at hand tonight with Scranton Prep.
Jake LaBelle, the sophomore, 305 pounds. He's the center. Levant's first pass. He connects with Schmalzley out for a figure law first down. Gain of 10, and they'll move the chains.
That was Robert Rossi on the defense for the Cavaliers. Again, Schmalzley just doing a nice little out pattern right up here. And he settled down into a dead zone, which is what we talk about for receivers. Go to where they're not. And he did a nice job in there to get that first down.
So the offensive coordinator for Wallenpaupack has not given the ball to Jay quite yet, using a lot of Levant here early on. And Levant's going to try again, but nowhere to go. Coming in, Aiden Cullen to make the stop, a loss of 3.
See number 53 in there for the Cavaliers coming in there. That's Drew O'Malley. Again, doing a nice job in here. They're just reading that well. Linebackers are scraping. Again, if you want a clinic on a 4-4 defense, the Cavaliers are where you want to go. Get in touch with Coach Gallagher.
He coached defense under Coach Donato, who's in the booth with us tonight.
Yes, he is.
Nick Donato doing the radio for ESPN, and he's really carried on the tradition that really Coach Donato has taken the Cavaliers to the next level. So Jay's first carry of the night. He gets a little bit back, but it's going to be 3rd and long facing the Buckhorns.
Number 1, Shadrach and Jay with the carries. Gain about 3. Tackle made by number 44, Michael Goulet.
So Jay, for his career, over 1,700 yards. Coach averages 5.6 per carry and has 19 touchdowns on his career.
On his career coming in.
Coming in.
He had 19 coming in. He's at 25 right now, and it's going to keep growing. Again, the way these young offensive linemen, they've got to control that front 4.
So we're going to have a tight end on the right side. Levan back, pressure, set up a middle screen to Jay. They have room in with blockers. But making a nice stop is London Montgomery short of the first down. He had some room, but Montgomery's speed really helped him there.
That was interesting. You see the best running backs in the league going right at each other. Nice setup for the screen, nice touch to the ball. The offensive linemen are downfield, and that's just textbook tackling. Wrap around the legs and take them down.
So you're in this weird place, punt or go for it. On Prep's side of the ball at around the 40-yard line.
Well, Coach Watson's going for it. He's got that much confidence in his team. They come out in their power eye.
Jay gets the carry. Push up front is going to be close. It's close to the line to gain. It's going to depend on the mark. Maybe a little bit short from this angle, but again, they may measure.
They just run what they call power eye left, power.
They did not get it, Coach. So Cavaliers hold on downs, and they'll take over on their side at the 38-yard line.
Well, Adam Kenny and Drew O'Malley were in there, and they're just 2 big young men that are hard to move.
So tell me what you see what Wallenpaupack's doing to stop London Montgomery.
Well, they're probably going to have one of their inside linebackers going to be shadowing him, and they're just going to spy him all night.
Little RPO, and he breaks a couple tackles. Montgomery up for about 8.
I think possibly what they might do is whichever way the London runs, the opposite linebacker then is going to scrape over top, do his normal business. But again, we saw pressure from number 44 coming in there.
Of course, Montgomery won the 200 track in AA. He finished 2nd in the District 2 AA 100. And then went on to win bronze in both at the state meet. And one thing they've talked about is he's gotten bigger over the couple of years. We've seen him since a freshman, but he's really gotten to the weight room this year, and he's up to about 190 pounds.
And more importantly, you'll see on this play, he's got a great burst, he's got great strength, and you saw that second effort in there, squeezing it out to get that extra yard. London said that, we're talking to him pregame, that track has helped him now with his conditioning. So he's in better shape, and again, his speed obviously has gotten faster, and he attributes that to his track coaches.
So they bring in Goulet at fullback on this 3rd and short. Good block by Goulet, and Montgomery's out. He stopped inside Buckhorn territory down to the 33-yard line. 23-yard gain.
I kind of chuckled because you have a 6'2", 240-pound Michael Goulet lead blocking, blowing up that inside blast. And then London Montgomery just gets that, and he just keeps going.
Staying in the power. Montgomery again. Still on his feet. Powers his way inside the Allied Services red zone for a figure law first down. 1st and goal, Scranton Prep at the 7.
That's a textbook counter tray right there. He takes the jab step, waits for his backside guard and tackle to pull. That's Adam Kenny and Drew O'Malley. And then he just bounces it to the outside. Game-saving tackle there by number 22.
Schmalzley. So this is the Scranton Prep we saw the first 2 weeks, a 26-yard gain for Montgomery. So his last 2 possessions, he's gained 49 yards. Good block by Goulet. Montgomery is in for a Scranton Prep touchdown with 3:37 remaining in the first quarter.
You'll see this. Again, there's a lot of double teams going on because they've got some big guys up there, the Buckhorns do. The double teams, they're moving, they're getting them off the line of scrimmage and allowing those running lanes to open up.
Good job by Anthony Nicotera and Christian Kohut on that right side. So Raymond Ronaldi on for the extra point. High snap. Good job by Monahan to get it down. And is up and through. In the first quarter, the Prep takes the lead. 7-0. We'll be right back on my TV. Well, the Paupack fans find themselves down 7-0 to our 6th-ranked team in the Friday Night Rivals countdown, but their team gets the ball back. Jake Gentile tees it up at the 40. Looks like Ajay is back in about his 10-yard line to receive this kick. Little short, hanging, end over end. And a big hit by number 4. He called his name a couple times, Aiden Cullen.
Aiden Cullen is fired up. I saw him pregame. He's jumping around. He's just got all the juice flowing right now. And he's doing a great job offensively and defensively. The kick went short, a 30-yard line. And you just saw he just came in and laid the wood.
So the Buckhorns have the ball at their own 32-yard line, trailing now 7-0. Let's see if we get a big toast of Ajay on this drive, just like we saw Montgomery. No, we're going to see Levant, and Golay comes shooting in for a loss.
With the carry, tackle by number 44, Michael Golay.
They must have scouted something that they want to try to isolate Levant in there to try to establish him running the ball with that. And again, Cavalier defense is not having it.
Golay, one of the top linebackers in the region, shoots in and a loss of 2 on first down. To the eye they go, to the Buckhorns. Ajay trying to get anywhere, has nowhere to go. Prep stacks it up at the line of scrimmage and gets back to the original line of scrimmage. So let's take a look now at the Dixon City Hyundai starting lineups for the Prep defense, giving up 10 points per game here early on. Jimmy Burke, I mentioned in the middle, 285-pound Caesar, the strongest player on the Cavalier team. The linebackers, we saw a lot of Golay and Cullen. We also like O'Malley in there and TJ Rogue on the outside. And the secondary, Rossi's in there with Gentile, Montgomery, and Rogue.
I'll tell you what, the Cavaliers, all 11 across the board, are solid in every position.
Swing out, and it's deflected at the line of scrimmage by Donovan Williams, and it falls incomplete.
6'2", 225-pound defensive end coming in here, does a great job. Look at his outside arm. As a defensive line coach, you always tell your ends to keep their outside arm and leg free, and that was perfect technique right there.
So the Prep defense comes in and gives a quick 3-and-out for the Buckhorns. Levant back to kick, Montgomery back to receive at his own 30. The snapper is his brother, the quarterback. A left-handed kicker, a high hanging kick. Montgomery lets it bounce. And all kinds of stuff going on. Not sure who touched it.
Where's he? It's going the wrong way.
Yeah, and he picked the ball up, did the Buckhorn receiver, thinking it hit a Cavalier, but he's running the wrong way.
It happens, folks. It does happen.
They aren't high school kids, remember this.
And the excitement takes over.
Yes. So Prep comes out 7-0. They had a nice drive, 5 plays, 62 yards the last time they touched it. And they went to that power I, had Golay leading, and that kind of opened things up.
Boy, I'll tell you, and again, 240 pounds coming at you, and he moves really well for a big guy. And he just gets in there and he moves people.
So Monahan back into the shotgun with a sidecar of a little bit London Montgomery. They fake to him. Monahan keeps it. He has room. Monahan knows open field. Schmalsley there stops him. There would have been a Prep touchdown. Inside the Buckhorn territory goes Monahan.
What a play. They set it up inside. What a pull. I mean, you teach as a running back, coaches will teach their kids the fakes are as important as carrying the ball. And you saw right there, that fake froze the linebackers. Quarterback pulled the ball on the RPO and took off for 25 yards.
Oh, Monahan, don't see a lot of passing, but he uses his legs there. Montgomery, left side. Montgomery shoots through. Can't break a tackle. Another game-saving tackle by Schmalzli. And they're up inside to the 24-yard line, a 22-yard gain.
The way they just run that zone inside there, again, they're getting a lot of penetration from Sam Phillip, the big 370-pounder. He's pushing the center back, and that actually opened up a nice inside lane for London Montgomery.
So another strong drive for the Cavaliers, all on the ground. Trips to the right. Buckhorns adjust, but they give it to Montgomery, and he shoots again. One move, and he is in for another Cavalier touchdown for London Montgomery. This one, 24 yards.
24-yard touchdown.
Tremendous run. Look at the burst on that young man. Again, they just go with that counter tray action. Again, bringing that backside, they're pulling, and you just see all those Cavaliers are getting at a first level and second level, and London Montgomery takes care of the rest.
So Montgomery's give him the feed me sign, give him the ball, as he is feeling it. Rinaldi again now in for the PAT. Kick is up, and it is through. So Rinaldi's PAT gives Scranton Prep a 14-0 lead with 41 seconds remaining in this second quarter. So you get the ship rolling out from the pier, and you keep it rolling and rolling, because once they get going,
full steam ahead for London Montgomery.
Right?
Wow, he makes it look so smooth and easy out there. You'll see just on that outside zone, he just squeezes that up inside. Most running backs would try to keep going to the outside, but he's got great vision, cut right back into an open lane for the touchdown.
So now the Buckhorns seem to have to answer at this point. They can't let things get away from them. They have to find something on offense that's working. They haven't yet. Maybe they have to start going to the air a little bit.
Well, they do, but you got to credit Scranton Prep. It's defense right now. They are playing so well. They're flying to the ball, and more importantly, their defensive line is not being pushed back. They're establishing a new line of scrimmage and collapsing everything. So their run game is suffering, but now they're going to have to try to open that up.
So Gentile will tee it up. It's probably going to be a short kick again, but some of the speed they have on this right side for the Cavaliers helps them on special teams to get down and get the ball carrier quickly.
And when you have a strong kicker, it's very easy to be on the kickoff team.
This one's short and going to be taken by Schmalzli at the 34, and Cullen misses a tackle. And here he comes. Up to the 42, good field positions for the Buckhorns, trailing now 14-0.
Nice job. Again, it was just like a pooch kick. They're trying to kick it to a dead zone, so that way it's a live ball. And Schmalzli does a tremendous job with the ball handling skills. He switches his arms to make sure ball security. And now he's got his Buckhorns in very good very good field position to start this drive.
So Levant is going to be in the shotgun with two sidecars next to him. They fake it to Ajay, and Levant shoots up. Nice hole up close to the line to gain, but it's going to be about a yard short of the first down.
And this is what the Buckhorns have to do. They're just going to have to chip away at it. Again, a great job with that RPO. It looks like it's going to be an outside blast with the right halfback lead blocking for the left halfback. Quarterback pulls and goes.
Let's take a look at the offensive line, shall we? 250, 260, 305, 295, 290. All underclassmen.
Three sophomores and two juniors. It's looking bright for these young men. They just have to spend that time and dedication into the weight room.
Six-man front now, and let's see. That will do it for the first quarter. So Buckhorns trailing 14-0 at home. Their undefeated season on the line. We'll be right back for the second quarter on Friday Night Rivals.
You're watching Allied Services Friday Night Rivals, presented by Dixon City Hyundai and Performance Kia.
Welcome back to tonight's game. We're going to shift gears real quick and present to you the Car Vision Nissan Scholar Athlete. So each week, it's up to the schools to pick one student that not only is a great athlete, but performs well in the classroom as well. At the end of the football season, one of these students will have the chance to win a $5,000 scholarship. So tonight we present to you Lake Wallenpaupack's Anastasia Iapolo. She's a top student at Lake Wallenpaupack and a member of both the soccer and track and field teams. At the end of the season, we will present the Scranton Prep Scholar Athlete, but for now, let's give a congratulations to Wallenpaupack's Anastasia Iapolo. Bob and Jan, back to you guys.
Well, congratulations, Anastasia.
Yeah, congratulations.
Wow.
Well, wow, yeah, well, the PAT is up and good. We're going to take a look at this replay now. Wallenpaupack on the board with a long touchdown pass, Coach. Levant to Schmalzli.
What a great job for a pass pro, great throw. And again, Schmalzli gets right in back of the secondary of Prep for the touchdown. Bob, you were just saying they've got to come out and start throwing the ball. What a great way to start the second quarter.
His fifth touchdown for Levant on the season, the fourth for Schmalzli. But I think that's maybe one of the weaknesses you're going to see from this Cavalier team is the secondary.
It could be one of their Achilles heels, but you know what? They may be at this point, yeah. Schmalzli got right behind them, and 21's just sitting there going, he knows.
Yeah.
That's Jake Gentile. He knew that he got in trouble there.
So the lead cut in half for the Cavaliers on the first play from scrimmage of the second quarter for the Buckhorns. So it's a three-play drive, 58 yards. They had good field position, and it's 14-7.
And, you know, Bob, both these teams have not been in this predicament either, where they're only 14-0, and then all of a sudden the team comes right back. Coach Watson's Buckhorns have not been in a deficit, and they're fighting back right now.
So this is a Lackawanna Football Conference meeting between Division I and Division II. Levant, a high kick through the hands of Montgomery. He picks it up, though, at the 1. Has some room, has some open space. If he gets the sidelines, you won't catch him. Oh, he spins, he stays in bounds. And the 200-yard track champion takes it in for a Cavalier touchdown. 99 yards.
Well, that's a great way to answer a touchdown. Look at the blocking downfield right there. Key block, I couldn't see the number on that, and that sprung him. You got two guys right there. What balance that London Montgomery had right at that sideline to keep him bounced, and he's being escorted in there by number 3. Ty Weeks.
Ty Weeks, yep. The freshman escorts him in and went through his hands, and you're like, oh boy. But again, great job on special teams from the Cavaliers blocking. You could see the gap open, and once you give him a little gap, you won't catch him.
He's gone, and that's just a great design play for the Scranton Prep special teams coach.
So the Cavaliers answer on a big touchdown run from London Montgomery. It's a 14-point lead again for the Cavaliers. Two touchdowns within 15 seconds of each other. Wallenpaupack strikes back through the air, but then they kick it off to London Montgomery. And the speedster, 98-yard kickoff return for London Montgomery. And now Prep will give it back over to Wallenpaupack. And that's the way you answer if you're the Cavaliers.
And that's a great way. Now, again, they're going to put the ball back, give it back to the Buckhorns, and they're going to rely on their defense now to do what they've done. Stuff them like they did the first 2 series.
So Paupack moves up a little bit for the short kick. Jay back at his 15, and they will kick it, and Jay gets it on the run. Can he pick up blocks? He does. He has the sideline. Gentile, the kicker, has to make a saving tackle right near midfield.
Shadrach Jay right there saw what London Montgomery can do and says, you know what, I can do that too. And again, it was just one player away from breaking that one for a touchdown. Great vision, great speed, and he's got, more importantly, he's got good strength. Right there, he took that block on, or the tackler on, and he drug him for an extra 2 yards.
So some interesting games around the region. Coach will give us some scores throughout. Jay Goulet stands him up, but a nice gain of about 4.
You saw big number 53, Jacob Gonzalez, the 5'8", 260-pound junior, lead blocking right there. I'm sorry, 53, yep. Does a nice job with that G, or what they call the trap play for him. Brings that overlapping guard over there to help seal the edge.
Senior Jimmy Burke also on the tackle. So now Wallenpaupack settled down a little bit. Maybe the excitement,
the nerves,
the TV here, being undefeated, their biggest game in years here. They settle down a little bit. They have things going with a J, and they obviously can throw the ball. So Levant, Jay gets a block. He takes it up near the 45 inside Cavalier territory. It'll be 3rd down and short.
That was a nice job. Again, when a running back is going to lead block for his quarterback, watch number 1, gets into him, and again, just chips him enough to allow that outside edge for Levant to get out there to make that a 3rd and more manageable situation.
Yeah, Montgomery on the tackle, playing both ways this season. Prep on the year giving up 10 points per game in their first 2. And can't get to the line to gain. Half yard on the play. Prep stands them up with that big defensive line. Christian Kohut looks like he's on the stop.
Again, they tried to go with the let's freeze the linebackers with the play fake and pull and go. I would hope Doc Watson is going to punt this ball this time. Last time that kind of gave the Cavaliers great field position. Again, to do what they do so well, which is move the ball.
Cullen made the tackle, and on 4th down, they'll leave the offense on, trailing by 14. They go in to the power I, but I think Coach wants the timeout. Let's see. We have a timeout on the field, and it's called by Wallenpaupack, their first of the half. There are the coaches. We talked about Doc Mark Watson, 16th season. Terry Gallagher, his 6th season. Sixth season overall, 53 wins. And really, he's really kept that Cavalier team that Coach Donato had rolling for years. They've won 4 district titles in a row. They didn't win for 2 years. They're maybe the favorite this year in AAA. Wallenpaupack's going to compete in the Quad A this year. They drop a level from 2 years ago. They used to be 5A. So and a loaded 4A, Paupack will be in that mix.
And Coach Donato really set the standard high, and Coach Gallagher has kept it up and is trying to push it even higher to try to keep these kids and this program going in that Scranton Prep tradition.
So on 4th down, the power I. They're 0 for 1 tonight in 4th down conversions. Ajay pushes forward, and he didn't make it again. Cullen in there, Golay. And O'Malley in there, the linebackers making the stop.
And you see number 53 trying to be that extra man inside, pulls, but again, that defensive line is so stout, they are not moving. As I said, they're establishing the new line of scrimmage.
So Prep stops them. They'll turn the ball over on downs, and the Cavaliers will have very good field possession right at the 43-yard line.
21-7. Again, this is such a huge game for both these teams right now, and the edge right now is going to Scranton Prep. The Buckhorns, again, are a young team. We can't forget that. They are 2-0, and they're young, and they're getting better.
Montgomery, Golay to lead. Shifty in there, up for about 5 near midfield.
Number 7, London Montgomery with the carry.
Well, I keep calling the number 53s tonight. Big Drew O'Malley was the pulling guard for the Cavaliers on that. You see him, he does the pin and pull, does a nice job absorbing number 32 to allow London Montgomery to spring out for 5 yards.
Aiden Robertson, number 32, makes the tackle, the junior, on London Montgomery. Stick with the 2 tight end set. This to hand it to Golay, and the big fullback is rumbling, bumbling inside Buckhorn's territory, up inside the 40 for a figure law first down.
That's a great call right there. They go with the fake toss play. They pull it, the ball, the quarterback pulls it right back down inside, and all they're doing, the offensive line, is just stepping play side, and Michael Golay, just look at that. He just runs Schmalzley over on that. Again, 240 pounds. That's a lot of young man to bring down.
Yeah, they're sneaky with, you fake it to Montgomery, either Monahan takes it or then they give it to the fullback, and everyone's keying on number 7.
As they should. I mean, London Montgomery has proven himself that he is that formidable of a running back.
Montgomery left side, up inside the 34. Keeps the feet moving, and we really haven't seen Tay Weeks at all. Montgomery's been on the field pretty much every play.
And again, you'll see that, wow. What I liked on that, big Adam Kenny on that left tackle for the prep team, he just pushed his defender 5 yards downfield, which sprung London Montgomery for that.
Shock on the tackle for Wallenpaupack, number 36, just a freshman. So big Sam Phillip, 6'2", 370 junior, needs to push back for the Buckhorns. Montgomery breaks a tackle. Figure law, first down inside the 25. 12 more for Mr. Montgomery.
He's got to be approached at least 180 for this. Again, they just go with that inside blast right there, and all we're doing is number 52 that time, Anthony Nicotera, is wrapping around the center to pull up on the linebacker, and the fullback's leading through, and London Montgomery's got great vision and speed, and got another figured law first down.
Cullen now the eye back to give it to Golay, who slips down, and that will go for a loss officially. So he said London needed a break, and they gave him one out, and now he's back in.
He's back in. And again, that's not a knock on Cullen. I mean, we saw how juiced up he is. Again, they tried to do that same play, and the quarterback and the fullback, they just tripped each other up. Prep's offensive line really has their hands full with number 74, the 6'2", 370-pound junior, Sam Phillip.
Montgomery slips on the turf here, and he's going to come up short right near the 20-yard line.
And number 32, Aiden Robertson, does a nice job firing on that, and he tripped him up behind the line of scrimmage.
So 3rd and 8 now facing the Cavaliers. So out of the gun with Montgomery, the sidecar. Give it to Montgomery, and this time Paupack shoots in. Nice job by Anthony Martucci going low and making the tackle, the junior. 4th down on the way.
And Sam Phillip on this one, he stoned him right at the line of scrimmage, and again, he just put the exclamation point down. Again, number 24 for Paupack. As you said, Anthony Martucci does a nice job applying that pressure, firing inside the gap.
So on 4th down and 8, the Cavaliers will go for it. Monahan back, has time. Gonna go to the outside, and he does, to his favorite receiver, one of the best in the area. Robert Rossi comes back, makes the catch, and it's a figure law first down inside the Allied Services red zone.
Nice job, Robert Rossi, on that pass pattern. Goes to the outside, makes sure that he goes past the sticks for the first down. Look at that spiral, nice tight, great concentration.
That's 13 yards on the play, and it'll be officially 1st and goal, Scranton Prep. Montgomery, Golay with the tackle. 1 tackle missed. Dives for the end zone, and he's 1 yard short.
London Montgomery is trying to showcase his talents tonight, and he's surrounded by great talent that's doing a wonderful job on that offensive line. Look at that, hits, spins, and is fighting for every yard.
Justin Stella, the senior, tried to hold him up and did. So a couple yards away from the Cavaliers extending their 14-point lead. Golay in the power eye. Oh, good job by Paupack selling out, but instead Montgomery powers his way in for a Cavalier touchdown.
The Buckhorns dialed up a great blitz. The only problem was they didn't drop Montgomery for the loss. Aiden Robertson fired in there, did a nice job. They were supporting cast members, and they just couldn't bring that running back down.
So 9-play,
You'll see it right here.
57-yard drive, Coach.
58-32. They got to wrap that young man up. And again, what Prep did earlier and does so well is they wrap the legs. You take his legs away, he can't move.
Rinaldi in for the PAT, and it is up and through. So Scranton Prep's lead up to 21 now with 4:30 left in the half. Here along the Lake Wallenpaupack, Bob I, Jan Cechak, and Hannah O'Reilly. A meeting of two undefeated teams coming in, 2-0. One from the Lackawanna Football Conference Division 1 and Wallenpaupack in Division 2, the Scranton Prep Cavaliers.
And you're seeing the difference right now in the maturity level of the Scranton Prep Cavaliers right now. The Buckhorns are so young, and they've got a lot of kids coming back. And I'm not talking about next year, but I'm going to say it. They're just building, and they're going to keep building and have a great program for Doc Watson up here.
Yeah, especially with that big offensive line. And here are your performance keys to the game. Prep so far, no turnovers, and Coach Terry Gallagher was not happy with the penalties the first 2 weeks.
Well, again, because those are mental errors that the kids can control. And speaking with Coach Gallagher before the game, he said, and again, it drives every coach nuts when you might have a 3rd and 1 and a kid jumps off sides. Those are the things he was addressing with his team.
So Jake Gentile will tee it up once again. Jay camping out near his 16-yard line and waiting this kick, trying to get his Buckhorns to cut into this lead by Scranton Prep, now up to 21 points. It was 14-7, 14 unanswered for Scranton Prep. On the run, and Ajay from about his 20. Cuts back over the 30 to the 37, and I think it's that time. It is that time of the night we love.
What time is that, Bob?
It is Dr. Todd Smile Cam time, Hannah. Who do you have with the big smiles tonight?
Bob, every time I see the Scranton Prep cheerleaders, those smiles are something Dr. Todd would be proud of. So I had to choose them for the Dr. Todd Smile Cam tonight. Ladies, let's see those smiles.
Thank you to Dr. Todd and the Scranton Prep Cavalier cheerleaders.
And they've got a lot to smile about tonight.
They do, as Levant finds his favorite target, TJ Smallsley, back out for a nice game into Cavalier touchdown, and that combination has worked tonight.
They're doing a really nice job. Quick release here, sets, and look at that tight spiral coming out. Smallsley, again, gets to the sticks, gets the first down, keeps the chains moving.
16-yard gain. I think the Buckhorns need something before the half. They need to get more confidence going into halftime. They will get the ball to begin the third quarter.
And this would be a great way to go in with that momentum.
Levant pulls it down, and he's hit on the outside. Shooting in is number 5, Coach TJ Rogue.
Well, he went rogue on the Buckhorns right at that time. Nice job. Again, AJ's got to do a little bit better job blocking for his quarterback, especially if it's a design quarterback keep.
Coach Bob thinking maybe some play action might be what the doctor ordered.
Well,
Get it, Dr.
I see what you're doing there, Bob. Picking up what you're throwing down there, Mr. Hyde. A little bit of bootleg action. We haven't seen that. Let them roll, get some play action going, and then roll the quarterback opposite.
Fake it. Get some pressure. Nice pass to the outside, the Schmalzli
again.
Up close to the 41, so it's going to be 3rd and manageable for Wallenpaupack.
Again, Dr. Bob Ide must have consulted Doc Watson on that last play call.
Nope.
It's working for them, so keep it going. Try a different wrinkle. Maybe a tight end seam right now would be nice, because the tight end really hasn't shown anything at this point.
Santiago, one of the tight ends, 88. So they're going to come with 2 receivers to the near side. And I think Coach Gallagher is going to make some adjustments now. He's going to call timeout. Of course, he is the defensive coordinator for the Cavaliers, and that's what he was with Coach Donato. And he's continued in that role. So your performance key to the game.
Well, limit big plays, and you almost want to say limit London Montgomery on those, and then own the top.
Time of possession.
I'm like, wait a second. All right.
Time of possession.
Time of possession. I had a kid today text me because he's out of school, and he sent me these letters. I had no idea what they were. It was LMN or something. Let me know or something.
Time of possession. So let's go back to the game. Let's talk about the game.
I digress right here.
Paupack has not been able to do that.
They haven't been able to. And again, I'm not second guessing. Coach Watson saw something on those 4th downs that he thought he was trying to give the kids confidence. But sometimes you got to override that and play field position. Make them work for it. And again, they just haven't had that with that defense, and how fast and how stout they are, the Cavaliers are right now.
Mike Serra, our referee tonight, haven't heard really any from him at all. Have we had any?
And that's a good game.
Yeah.
They're letting the kids play. And again,
we might have to show the referees tonight, because there's no flags. Watch one come in right now. You'll see, because that's my luck. Okay, after the timeout from Scranton Prep, it is a 3rd down facing the Buckhorns, trailing. Levant with plenty of time, throws to this side. Great job by Quigley, and Quigley up for a figure law 1st down after a tackle is broken. He's to the 27-yard line.
Chris Quigley does a nice job getting out to the outside. Then he secures the ball, tucks inside. 2 defenders, 3 defenders, and he keeps going. 6'2", and he falls forward for an extra 2 yards.
Quigley's first reception on the year. They haven't had to throw much in their first 2 games.
No,
so
they didn't.
A lot of guys don't have stats yet this year. He is a 5'7" senior.
And that's something that sometimes, like as a defense coordinator, when you don't know what their passing game is like, that can surprise you. And you know Scranton Prep's going to make adjustments at halftime.
Yeah, Levant didn't see anybody, tucked it in. Use his speed to get to the outside, get some positive yardage up to the 25.
Well, the clock is still running right now. He did not get to the out of bounds, according to the official. Yeah. You'll see this good coverage sack right here, and he's just rolling. He didn't see anything. He just tucks it up and goes.
Cullen coming in on a roll. He is making the tackle. He's had several tackles tonight. So 2 timeouts left for the Buckhorns. As I said, they get the ball to begin the 3rd quarter. So something in the points, at some points here, is what they need.
They do, and I'm not sure how their field goal kicker is. I know their punter's extremely good.
It's the same one.
Then he's going to be a good kicker. I mean, boy, we saw him booting the ball, and he's getting a lot of looks, and he spent a lot of times at kicking camps.
Okay, Coach Gallagher, again, not liking what he sees. He has his hands on his head, so obviously the defense is giving up way too much right now.
He wants.
So we're going to look at the standings now for District 2, the early standings in District 2. Remember, 3rd week here of high school football in the region.
So we're looking right now. Valley View was up. Last time I checked, they were up 14-6. Dallas jumped out to a commanding 35-0 lead over Wilkes-Barre area. Honesdale was behind. Lewisburg. I'll tell you, the Heartland Conference, Bob, they have some really strong teams down there. Tuncanic's doing really well right now at their game with Crestwood, and North Pocono is beating their opponent, Honesdale. And now those 2 teams we're going to see next week.
Yep, we'll see Honesdale and North Pocono next week, and then the following week we'll see Tunkhannock.
Next week's Tunkhannock at North Pocono.
Oh, Tunkhannock, North Pocono.
Right, and then the following week.
Yes. We'll see Honesdale and Scranton. You think I know the schedule?
Bob, I
but
don't
it's
know.
shifted around so
It
much,
has.
as people know tonight. We were supposed to be in the Heartland Conference with Selinsgrove and Shamokin. That got delayed to tomorrow. Wallenpaupack was nice enough on Wednesday afternoon late to say, hey, yes, you could come see our game. And both coaches and administrations have been great. So on third down, Levant throws it. He's over the line of scrimmage. It's a touchdown, but I think he's over. There's a flag right at the line of scrimmage.
Number 19, Brett Levant's pass.
We have an injured Cavalier.
If this play stands the official's ruling,
Smallsley is the touchdown. He was close to the line of scrimmage. And that referee right there did throw the flag. So Mike Serra, first flag of the night.
and that's a big one.
I can't see who the injured Cavalier guy is. Was on that side. They're out quickly, taking his helmet off. So here's the replay. Let's see if we can see the line of scrimmage is right where the referee is.
It's right at the 25.
He is, oh, he's over.
He was over.
Yeah. He didn't have anything behind him. So he was right there, the referee. So this one will be coming back after the injured Cavalier comes up.
And Brett Levant did a nice job extending that play, using his legs, and again, his arm at that time. And that's not gonna hurt because they do get the ball back. So they still got some time to get another try at the end zone.
So let's see what the Wallenpaupack is facing the rest of this season. They head to a very tough Lakeland team next week.
Triple
Then
A,
they have North
yes.
Pocono. They'll go down to Scranton. They'll see Valley View. Abington lost last week to Honesdale, but did
By
beat
1
Tunkhannock.
point, yes.
Did beat Tunkhannock week 1. Delaware Valley's kind of that enigma. They lost last week, but they're still a 6A power school, and then they'll end it with a nice rivalry at Western Wayne right towards Halloween. So Paupack wanted to get one of those spots into the District 2 4A playoffs. Those very coveted spots, and that's we saw the standings before. That is going to be one competitive division, along with AAA, I think, as well for District 2.
And Western Wayne has been on our radar in our top 10. They're 2-0.
So we'll take a quick timeout, and we'll check on the Cavaliers on the injured on the field after this. So the applause is for Aiden Cullen, who was on the field, and looks like may have something wrong with his wrist or hand. He's been all over the place tonight, making tons of tackles for the Cavaliers, so you can see the air cast on him. Luckily, he is walking off the field, talking to his teammates, and now we'll get the call back as Wallenpaupack had a touchdown, and it is going to be coming back as Levant, the quarterback, went over the line of scrimmage when he threw the ball. So this will back up Wallenpaupack, and with 1:38 remaining in the second quarter, 28-7 is the score. So they'll bring it back 5 yards near the 30-yard line. So third down on the play. So this may be 2-down territory for the Buckhorns. Down 3 touchdowns.
That's definitely two down territory because they've got to get one back now to try to keep this game close and then come back out firing out in the second half.
Levant, what time? Has running room. He tucks it. And he rushes up to the 25-yard line. And the clock will continue to roll be 4th down.
Nice job with their pass pro. Again, but now the secondary coverage had all the receivers checked down, and Levant just turned it upfield and gained 5 yards.
Aiden Colleran, the junior, number 31, made the tackle. So 4th down, Roman Levant, the field goal kicker, is on the field. And I think coach is going to let this one roll down and then call timeout. So he doesn't give enough time for Prep to get the ball because one play with Montgomery and he could take it in. Timeout for Wallenpaupack, 47 seconds remaining in this first half. A first half that saw the first couple possessions of the game. Both teams kind of feeling each other out, and then Prep went up 14-0. Wallenpaupack answered, and then Prep scored 14 unanswered after that.
Allied Services is offering up to $15,000 sign-on bonus right now. Call to make an appointment, 570-348-2222. Allied Services is the region's leading provider of healthcare, and we want you to be fulfilled in your career. $15,000 sign-on bonus. Call now and learn why a career at Allied Services is the right choice for you.
So the strong leg of Roman Levant will tee this one up at the 32, 42-yard field goal for the left-footed kicker. The cut into the Scranton Prep lead. Looking for a good snap here and a good hold. Good snap, good hold. Strong leg, and it is up, and it is good. Levant boots a 42-yard field goal.
And
it makes it 28-10, and that would have been good from 50. That's why he's getting some top looks from some of the bigger schools. A strong leg for him. And now Paupack just has to keep the Cavaliers from scoring. Don't kick the ball to London Montgomery. That'd be my advice.
That's a tall order. Maybe a squib kick right now because that'll chew up a little bit more clock. And again, squib it away from the two deep backs.
Again, Wallenpaupack hasn't beaten this team since 2011, a decade old. The Cavaliers own a 5-3 series lead. And again, the teams have not met since 2015.
And the Buckhorns, Bob, I've said repeatedly in this first half how young this team is, and they're going to be going places and making some noise along the way this year.
They will, and for the couple of years to come, because you start with an offensive line. If you're building a team, it's probably where you're going to start. They have that foundation.
They have, and they're gaining that valuable experience to be able to turn that into payday and gold for them maybe next year or at the end of the season. Again, one game's not going to define the Buckhorns.
Nope, not at all. They'll be right in it at the end of the season, no matter what happens tonight. So Levant, a strong kick, and this one's going to go into the end zone. That is wise, and you use that advantage of the strong leg to give Prep the ball at the 20-yard line with 42 seconds remaining.
So, Bob, you know Coach Gallagher pretty well. Do you think he's just going to run one run play and then take a knee? Or is he a gambling guy? And he's going to put the pedal to the metal.
Billy Pasqualiccio calls the offense. And I would say, yeah, they're going to give it to
Gallagher's
Montgomery.
Right there over his shoulder.
Yeah, they're looking at it. But I know Coach Gallagher is very conservative as well. Give it to Montgomery, and that's what you do with Montgomery. Montgomery shoots out like a cannon. He's off and running. You're not going to catch him. Montgomery goes in for another Cavalier touchdown. No flags. Put another 80 on the stats for number 7. And too much time left.
Wow. Again, they go with the counter tray. They pull their backside tackle, Adam Kenny, and number 53, Drew O'Malley, the two seniors, and they just do their job, and they spring London Montgomery for 80 yards for a touchdown.
You asked what I would do? Give it a number 7 and see what happens. Right?
He's like, is it State Farm or Allstate? He's in good hands right there.
He's good hands.
Give him the ball. Wow. And he's a very modest kid, too.
Rinaldi's kick is up and good, and just when you feel like Wallenpaupack has a little bit of momentum, number 7 just destroys that.
Just takes it away.
With his legs, darts 480 yards, and I mean darts out of a cannon.
And here it is. There you see the counter trey, the tackle and guard pull. Look at that. They opened it up like the Red Sea in there, and London Montgomery went in there and just 80 yards later for another touchdown. He's got to be close to, if not over 200 yards. I'm just guesstimating right now.
Well, we'll check the stats at halftime. He came in with 2,100 yards overall, 31 touchdowns. Now, remember, he didn't play a lot his freshman year, not until the third game. Last year, sophomore year, again, they only played 5 games last year, and he had 500. He had just about 500 yards last year. So, you know, 31 touchdowns coming in. At 13 now. Excuse me, he had 10 coming in.
10.
Right?
10,
so he has, what, 5 tonight. Right?
Yeah, London Montgomery, we're going to be seeing this young man next year, and I think everyone that's watching this game is going to see him in the future, in the college and possibly pros.
So Gentillo, little squib kick. Taken down at the 34-yard line by Andrew Machistro. And Wallenpaupack now has the ball, but I don't think they have the firepower unless they're going to go deep again. Now, Levant could.
Friday Night Rivals is sponsored by Keystone College. Your career starts here with over 40 degree options, the lowest tuition, and a giant education. Register for on-campus open house on Saturday, September 25th.
So now 27 seconds left, no timeouts. Coach Watson does what?
Well, I think
he waits for Prep to call a timeout.
He did.
Well, you know, you put Levant back and you say is Smallsley back and let him go?
Yeah, they did show that they do like to run the 9s, which is just all streaks. Why not? They can match up. Now Cullen is out, so maybe they're going to pick on his replacement.
I think that's maybe why the Cavaliers called timeout. Get that prevent defense in. Let Montgomery sit back deep and some of the secondary.
Well, they still. I think they're going. Yeah, they're going to go with their 3-man front maybe on this.
Valley View leads Abington Heights 28-6. Lake Lehman is beating Dunmore. Dallas with a 38-0 lead over Wilkes-Barre, kind of a surprise.
Tunkhannock 23, Crestwood 0. Wyoming area 40, Greater Nanticoke area 0.
Lehman and Dunmore, incorrect score before, 6-0. Bucks lead. 47 seconds left in the half, according to Tom Robinson from NEPA Nation. Okay, has time. Levant. Got to get out of bounds, and he does. Didn't see anything downfield as Montgomery is playing the deep safety role, kind of a center field.
Well, they dropped one of their defensive linemen. They have a 3-man rush, and look at the pressure they are putting on them. They collapse the pocket. Again, the secondary now has an extra defender back there. There's nowhere to throw.
The Gallet came in with 18 tackles on the season. He's got a few more now added on, number 44. Yeah, linebacker. They'll give it to Jay, see if he can do anything. He's tripped up, and it'll be a first down, so the clock will stop momentarily for the figure law first down. Up to the, they're going to measure this first before we give them the full 10. Maybe, oh, they moved the chains. So they're not measuring, they moved the chains. So that's a first down. So I'm not sure. Well, Coach Gallagher called timeout again?
Yes.
Okay, so that will be his last.
I'm sure he just wants to make sure guys don't, yep, let's double check and triple check. Make sure no one gets behind you.
Yep. Well, this is not something you typically run in practice maybe, and he just wants to you know, they've led so much that you're not playing a prevent that much.
They haven't, and that's why it's smart to take the timeout, just go over your assignments again, and just emphasize to your secondary, no one gets behind you.
Hey, you want to know what's coming up in the Toyota halftime report? I know you do,
I
Jan.
do, Bob.
You do.
Well, tell me.
I will. The Fox 56 News First at 10 team will give us a short report. Hannah will have some special guests from Allied Services, as always, and then yours truly and you and me will be back in this booth for some stats and I think some number 7 highlights.
I think there's going to be
at least
check on
five,
the stats.
At least five highlights of number 7. And no pressure on our replay person, Kevin Burke. None whatsoever, right?
We have the greatest crew out there, Bob. They make us sound good, look good, and they give us stats and replays when we need them.
Well, speaking of sound, John Klingerman's doing audio. Steve Phillips, our producer. Mr. William Murphy, our director. Tyler Peterson doing graphics. Tyler Florian with the Tyler Square doing graphics. So, you know, we're
T-squared.
There we go. So it's a first down. Levant looking left, keeping his eyes that whole way. Now he's being chased. He's got room to the other side. Throws to a J crossing. And a flag comes in as, you know, I think Levant was rolling. Someone may have clipped somebody.
Drew O'Malley, number 53, and number 2, Donovan Williams, were putting so much pressure on him, he could not get settled down to get his eyes downfield to look. He's scrambling for his life. I think they're going to maybe, I don't know.
Nope, I didn't. They're talking. The referees are talking.
Unless they're going to say that there was a block in the back, but again, it was the defender.
Nope, they're going to wave the flag off. Yep. So the Lackawanna Football Conference officiating crew waves it off. 3 seconds left. So 55 yards away from a touchdown. Probably a handoff here and roll the clock out to number 1. Wallenpaupack receives the ball in the 3rd quarter. They give it to number 1. He can't break anything. Go lay in the backfield once again, and that's the way this first half will end. Number 7 has come from Scranton Prep, and he has shown what he is made of. 5 touchdowns for London Montgomery. His Cavaliers lead Wallenpaupack 35-10 at the half. Hannah gonna try, and I say try to grab Coach Gallagher because we know how camera shy Terry is, right?
He is.
So we know Hannah can do it. We know Hannah can get Coach Gallagher. She's going to grab him real quick. He does, and so Coach Gallagher now with Hannah O'Reilly on the field. Hannah, what does Coach have to say about his team's performance, and especially number 7 in that first half?
Yes, Bob, I'm joined by Scranton Prep head coach Terry Gallagher. Coach, now it was an even playing field for both these teams tonight, both teams undefeated. What was your confidence level coming out here?
We're a pretty confident group. We have good kids up front. We have some good skill kids. We just have to do our due diligence, get a hat on a hat, and we'll be in good shape. I thought the kids did a very good job that first half. There's a couple things we have to clean up, but that's what we'll go over and make some adjustments at halftime.
Yeah, now you guys are in the lead, but it still could be anybody's game. What are you going to need from your team to bring home a win?
They got to grind it out. We've worked them here since June. These were all the sprints come into it. Guys got to have each other's back, keep working, keep fighting, clawing, scratching, biting, do whatever they have to do to get a win.
All right, Coach, we'll let you get back to your team. Thanks so much. Bob and Jan, back to you guys.
Thank you, Coach, and thank you, Hannah. So, number 6, Scranton Prep leads Wallenpaupack at the half, 35-10. The Toyota halftime report is on the other side. Jan and I will see you at halftime here on MyTV, WQMY.
You're watching Allied Services Friday Night Rivals, presented by Dixon City Hyundai and Performance Kia.
Welcome back to halftime. I'm joined by Kira Herman. She's a licensed practical nurse here at Allied Services. Kira, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, talk to me about your journey with Allied Services.
I've been with the company for about 3 years now. I started off in Wilkes-Barre and ended up in Scranton this past spring. So I'm at the skilled nursing facility now in Scranton.
And now, what does a day in the life of an LPN look like?
Some days are crazier than others, that's for sure. I think that COVID has taken a toll in the medical field. I think everybody who works in the medical field could definitely attest to that. So a typical day for me is I'm usually on a med cart, pass medications, deal with everything that comes my way from, therapists to doctors and treatments, things like that.
And what would you say is the most rewarding part about being an LPN?
Definitely the relationships that I formed with my residents, for sure. That's rewarding.
And if somebody wanted to join your team, are there spots available?
Absolutely. We have every shift available. We're desperately in need of CNAs and nurses, so from entry level to experienced, that's for sure.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
And if you would like to find a job at Allied Services, you can head to alliedservices.org/careers. We'll be right back.
I'm Bill Conaboy. I'm President and CEO of Allied Services Integrated Healthcare System, and we're very pleased for the third year in a row to be a sponsor of Friday Night Rivals. Particularly during these struggles and these difficult times, our thousands of employees believe it's so important to this community to bring Friday night football to families throughout Northeast and Central Pennsylvania. So we look forward to another great season, and again, we're very pleased to be a sponsor of Friday Night Rivals.
And on behalf of Allied Services and MyTV WQNY, we'd like to present a $250 donation to the Wallenpaupack School District. Anne Marie Simons, the athletic director here, accepting tonight's check on the field before the game, and we want to thank her and the administration for having us on short notice. And we've had a pretty good game, 2 undefeated teams coming in, Jan Cechak.
Oh, boy.
But we knew number 7 was having himself a special year, and he's having even a better night tonight.
And only 3 games into the season, and this young man has got 15 touchdowns, and tonight rushed for 241 yards.
Yeah, 4 touchdowns on the ground, 198-yard kickoff return, and it's been the number 7 show.
So
and
it has been.
That's what we expect to coming in, but really give a lot of credit to that big offensive line for the Cavaliers.
And the big, experienced offensive line, and that's the difference. The Bucks right now don't have that experience, and you can see that's where this is coming from. They've matured on the Cavalier side, and they're just dominating.
Speaking of Wallenpaupack, Levan has thrown the ball pretty good, but the defense for the Cavaliers have limited a Jay to not many yards.
No, I believe 21 rush yards, and I think 101 pass yards. And Bob, you had mentioned earlier, they've got to open up that passing game, because that is probably the one weakness, if I could use that adjective, to describe the Cavaliers secondary.
Absolutely. So let's take a look at some first half highlights, and there's no pressure on anyone. But Kevin Berg's got to give us some highlights, and he does. And it's a Wallenpaupack highlight to begin.
Schmaltzy does a nice job. Again, we talked about that. They go with the screen, and you'll see Jay right here just comes up short. Now, Prep goes to work, and we see, look at number 7, 1-2. Coming up really tight. They're really keying on him. And again, they can key all they want. He's just a strong runner. There's one of his touchdowns. Here comes another one. Up in here, they ran that counter tray. And he just, look at how he powers and the effort he has.
Paupack gets on the board. Levan to Smalley. Nice pass over the head of Gentile.
And that was a great way to answer. But on the ensuing kickoff, 98 yards, London Montgomery. Great balancing act on the tightrope on the sideline for a touchdown. Momentum swing just in 12 seconds, Bob. 2 touchdowns.
And then Golay.
That was a great call. I love that call, especially rumbling, bumbling Golay in there with that fullback trap.
And then Monahan's only completion of the first half to Rossi again.
Look at this effort right there. He just gets in there. He's running, spinning right before the half. Here we go. Who's his favorite receiver? Schmaltzy does a great job running the out, gets an extra 3 yards.
Again to the outside, Quigley with a nice gain. And, Wallenpaupack has a little momentum going, showing a little bit. But then, the play kind of dies. Because this is the pass that actually was, he was over the line of scrimmage. So they ended up a field goal on that, and then they give it to Montgomery with under a minute to play. Maybe you shouldn't have done that, and he takes off an 80-yard sprint.
And you can see that his track prowess is really paying off dividends on the football field, and he's helping the Cavaliers to a 35-10 lead at halftime.
And Kevin Burke got all 5 touchdowns in from number 7. Good job from our replay department tonight in the trucks. Both teams on the field, both teams getting a stretch in. We'll get ready for the second half, and let's talk about the second half, Coach. Buckhorns get the ball. Do they need to score? I mean, always do that. I mean, do they need to score right off the bat? They need to show something in the second half.
They've got to sustain a drive right now, and they know they can get that field goal. We saw earlier that he kicked a 42-yard field goal. He's got the leg. They've got to get a drive together, and like Coach Watson said, he wants to try to control that time of possession there, and this would be a great way to start that. Come down, get minimum 3 points.
Well, a team that averaged 290 yards on the ground has only 20 rushing yards for the first half, 102 through the air. So total of 25 plays for the Buckhorns, 138 yards and 5 first downs.
But the first 2 games that they've played this year, Wallenpaupack, are not the type of quality team that they ran into tonight. And again, we've seen why Cavaliers are going to be the Division III, or I'm sorry, AAA, probably leading district champs.
Yeah, and that's why, you know, not to look too far ahead, we have them against Valley View in the, you know, the last regular season game of our schedule, and then we'll head into the playoffs. But you know, Valley View's a 4A team, probably one of the favorites to win 4A. Prep's probably the favorite right now, close favorite to win AAA. Wyoming area is right in there. You would put Lakeland as well in AAA.
And Lakeland's doing a really nice. Coach P up there has really brought the Chiefs into a very respectable football team in terms of winning districts and then coming right back after losing their stud tight end, their quarterback, and their running back.
Yep. And at some point this season, we will see Wyoming area take on Lakeland up at Chiefs Stadium. So stay tuned for that right here on Friday Night Rivals. Scranton Prep, our number 6 team in our top 10 countdown. We leaped them in front of Jersey Shore. Jersey Shore struggled a little bit last week against Sealands Grove. They ended up winning 9-7, but you know, what we've seen from Prep from the last couple of weeks, it's dominating like they've done tonight. We leaped them one ranking, sorry. One play, one ranking.
Play. Well,
so a good kick. A J from about his 20. And he's going to be knocked down, and Paupack offense back out, trailing. They'll be near the 34-yard line.
Again, Jay on this kickoff return does a real nice job. He secures the ball, and he gives a look at how strong this young man is. Comes in, lowers his head, and he's trying to run over the defenders. And they get the ball in decent field position to start the second half.
So the first-year quarterback, Brett Levant, who had 117 yards and 3 touchdowns last week against West Scranton, will take the snap into the third quarter, his team trailing. Give it to a J, but that defensive front is there again. No gain on the play.
Jimmy Burke, Max Schnippis, Drew O'Malley, Christian Kohut, they are establishing that line of scrimmage. Now, you have those 4 big guys up front. Then you got those 4 active linebackers back there. Durkin, Golay, O'Malley, and Rossi. Rossi's in there. I'm sorry, TJ Rogue. Those guys are filling those gaps, so there's no lanes anywhere for them to run.
There's a different team. Honesdale last week gave up 193 yards and 3 touchdowns, in week 1 to Jay. But Brandt looking, going to throw it up deep to Schmalzley against Rossi. Rossi pushed off a little bit. I think that's going to be a defensive interference. And Rossi's hurt a little bit. Let's see what happened. He's holding his arm. He came down very hard on that left arm. Let's see. That could be a huge loss for Scranton Prep if their senior does not get up. Let's look at it again.
You'll see there's a lot of pressure. He throws off his back foot, and he's going to his favorite target, Schmaltzy. Let's see. He did push off. It looked like he landed on his left elbow. I'm not a doctor, and it may have. He's up. He's good.
Up.
He's good.
Yep.
He's got to come out for the mandatory 1 play.
Kyle Barner, the trainer for Scranton Prep, out to the field, and he wasn't even needed. But I believe Rossi will have to go out 1 play, right?
Yes, he does. The mandatory that if you go down, you have to come out.
And they want to check him anyway. You don't want to lose him on any side of the ball.
And he doesn't want to come out because, he feels like he's going to let his team out. But he's got to get checked out, and it's not Yeah. Watching them on the side, like Coach Gallagher's like, come on, let's go.
So it's a Keystone College first down for Wallenpaupack. They'll be up to near midfield off the penalty.
And number 14, Robert McGuire, comes in to replace Rossi right now.
So a four-man front again for the Cavaliers. Paupack's big offensive line needs to get in some gaps for a J. Patient off the left side. And a positive yardage on the play. Number 31 was there on the tackle on defense, and that is Aiden Colleran.
They just go. They're trying to run that little quick trap game, the power game, excuse me, where the front side guard is pulling, and it's just not working. The defense is just smothering the daylights out of the Buckhorns.
Conditioning, conditioning, conditioning. These two teams have not seen the second half, the starters,
That's,
all season.
That's right.
Now they're into the third quarter. Who has the best condition? Prep now with the advantage, of course, 35-10 helps. Brand, quick drop, step, out to Quigley. Good defense by Montgomery. Minimal gain, brings up third down. He's near the 45-yard line.
London Montgomery does a nice job at his cornerback position. He closed that gap. Quigley comes out, does a quick out, gets the pass reception, and watch it. All of a sudden, you don't see him. There he is. He comes right flying into the screen. Keep everything in front of you and make solid tackles.
One thing, Levant has had pretty decent time to throw the ball. I mean, the offensive line is doing a good job pass protecting tonight. So a big third down here to begin this second half for Paupack trailing. Also movement, we have a flag. Let's see.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 58. Still third down.
Good to hear from Mike Serra tonight on the call, so it's back over to Buckhorn territory.
The sophomore right tackle, Justin Kowalik, just flinched a little bit, but it was enough that it drew the defense pointing at him, and the officials saw it. And actually, that was a break for them because of the bad snap.
Let's see how this affects now Paupack on third down. Coach Watson has already gone for it twice on fourth down in this game to no avail. They did not pick up the first down in the first half, excuse me. But you're trailing by 25.
They've run, in prior games, they ran the screen and the swing passes out of this formation.
Blitz comes. They almost have him. He throws it over the middle. Smallsley came over, and did he make the catch? They will give it to him.
And he made the first down.
That's why he's an all-league player. The 5'11 senior makes the catch, and it's a Keystone College first down.
I think Bob just put a blue and white striped shirt on up here.
Here you go, looking at it again.
There it is, right in here. Again, I don't know if they were trying to set the screen up because of how much pressure there was. Usually on the screen you will tell your offensive line count to 1,000, 2 1,000, let them go. And there was a lot of pressure in his face, and Schmalzley does a great job coming back for that ball.
14-yard gain on the play. Levant runs right into Colleran, number 31, who takes down the quarterback for a yard loss.
And that was just a miscue in terms of blocking assignments. Number 33, you'll see this right here. They run the fake. 68's lead blocking, but 33 didn't pick up the outside linebacker, and that's the man that makes the tackle and drops him for a loss.
Robert Rossi in, number 11. He was injured for one play. He is back into his quarterback position. Aiden Cullen, who was injured in the first half, remains in close. He's hurt his arm. Hopefully he's okay. So it's a deep Scranton Prep team. Well, we have somebody called timeout. Terry Gallagher's beside himself. He's like, you go talk to the team. Did you see him?
And that's sometimes it's the best thing you can do as a head coach, because you saw something, you get really frustrated, and you just have to say to your assistants, handle it, because I don't want to blow up.
Okay, Prep next week. Going to head to Dunmore. They're home away from home this year. They'll take on the Bucks. Western Wayne has a COVID issue. They were supposed to play more tomorrow. That has been canceled. So, you know, they have a couple weeks before they meet Western Wayne. We'll see there. And a couple home games on Saturdays, of course. It'll be West Scranton and Honesdale. They go to your favorite town, Tunkhannock.
T-Town.
And finish with Lake Lehman. And then we'll have Prep at Valley View to finish out the regular season.
And what a great way to end our season, our regular season's games.
That's right, regular season. We will have a couple of playoff games for you. So Coach Gallagher's calmed down a little bit, talking to his team. I don't know, maybe he was mad at the refs for giving him the timeout, because it was really late.
It really was, and he's emphasized. Coach Gallagher is emphasizing something to his team. And again, when a coach is hitting his hand inside his hand, he's saying, "I want to do it over and over and over again." So he's emphasizing a point. I would love to ask him. Maybe we'll have Hannah ask him. What was he emphasizing?
Yep. So second down. Levant. Inside screen is all messed up. Jay had a hand on it, but I think one of his offensive linemen were in front of him as he caught the ball.
No, it's actually 88 actually gets the ball.
Okay.
Incomplete
It was
pass.
one. It was Jay's right there.
Yeah, 88 was right there. That we saw that, okay, they tried to do the old sneakaroo. If the refs didn't see it bounce off the turf, maybe they'll say it was a reception.
If you were a coach, that you'd be like, "Hey, caught it. He caught it."
I've had that. I've had that happen to me.
A third and long facing the Buckhorns. Three-man rush. Gets it to the outside of Schmalzli. Has a Keystone College first down. Rips out of a tackle. A late tackle, and add on some yardage for the Buckhorns. They'll be inside the Allied Services red zone after the call.
And I'll tell you, they're playing very physical out there. They bumped them off the line of scrimmage. Schmalzli does a nice job coming here. Look at that balance. Wow, he was really back.
And then Gentile had his and kind of ripped them down out of bounds.
After the play, personal foul. Prep, 15 yards we added to the end of the run. First down. Half the distance, I'm sorry, half the distance.
That's what Coach Gallagher was talking about in his keys to the game. Cut down on the mental errors and the penalties. Right there is a prime example. He was at the sideline, he had control of the receiver, and then just extra throwing him down is when the official threw that flag.
So this is the first possession of the second half for either team, and Wallenpaupack has gone to the air and now used a penalty to get the ball at the Cavalier 12-yard line, trailing by 25. Levant. Here comes Golay, and he takes down the quarterback for a big loss.
Well, sometimes defensive coordinators have to dial up a blitz in this situation, and they did. He just came in. He followed the pulling guard on that number 68, Mike Fitzgerald, and he went right into the quarterback.
The leading tackler coming in, Michael Golay, a 6'2", 240-pound senior. So a 5-yard loss for Wallenpaupack. Two wideouts to the far side. Looks like Cavaliers showing blitz once again. Ajay, can he get the corner? He really can't. The safety came up to make the tackle. Get some of the yards back to the original line of scrimmage. Williams in there along with Gentile.
Look at that picture on your screen, folks. There were 5 white jerseys around him. That's how hard and fast his team is pursuing to the ball and why the Buckhorns are struggling to get any type of offense going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you had number 8 coming in there, number 14 at the very end. That's what coaches preach all the time. Get your hat in the picture at the end of the play.
Well, we know Wallenpaupack has a very good kicker. Roman Levandy's hit a 42-yarder, but you're down 25. You're not playing for a field goal at this point.
No, and one of the points of the game, or keys to the game for Coach Watson was time of possession. And right there, they almost have 6-minute drive going.
You got
so they've got to come back with 7.
to the end zone, in and out of the hand of Smallsley. Rossi on the coverage, and that would have been a nice 6 points.
That would have been a tremendous drive for the Paupack Buckhorns. Good ball right in there. He had great position on him. Rossi, too.
It was a great pass.
And he knows, look at it,
Smallsley's
Schmaltz's right there. Grabbing his head, he goes, Dad, I knew I had that.
So they're going to go for it on 4th down. They can get a first down right around the 2-yard line. So a big play here for Wallenpaupack. This drive started at their own 33, the Cavaliers. Here comes the rush. The quarterback throws it. It's off the turf, and it goes incomplete. And Prep holds, and they will take over on downs. 5:50 left in this third quarter.
Boy, Christian Colhut was a man on a mission in here. Number 2 coming in, strong off the edge. Donovan Williams, 33 coming at him. I mean, there's just no place for Mabret Levant to actually throw the ball or even get himself set to look downfield.
So it's a 10-play drive that leads to 0 points.
And they did take 6 minutes, 10 seconds off the clock, but there's no consolation in that.
Nope. You needed points there if you're Wallenpaupack, if you any chance of getting back in this one. Now you give it back to the Prep offense. Scored 4 touchdowns tonight. Here's Montgomery. 1 move, 2 moves. Look at the shiftiness, the number 7, and he's going to be held up. He's up for about 6 yards.
Justin Sella coming up from the free safety position. Number 24 gets hooked. And again, right there, Stella came back in, put that pressure up front. And again, these guys were very fortunate at that time. And look at big number 74 coming into the picture there, folks. He's Sam Phillip, and he's 370 pounds. And I was talking, Bob, to you earlier, watching the other games. He moves well to the ball for a big guy.
He's just a junior. Back to Golay, little fullback keeper, up for a Keystone College first down. He falls to the 30. You've seen him on defense, and he's had a couple of nice runs on the offensive side.
There's that fullback trap right up in there. Number 53, Drew O'Malley, 240 pounds, leading the way for another 240-pounder at 6'2", Michael Golay.
Monahan's going to look a little quick out to Rossi in between 2 purple jerseys. He pulled it in, and he's up for another Keystone College first down, gain of 10.
Well, Chris Quigley was number 5. He's 6'2", so it wasn't quite that much of a mismatch in there. You'll see him come up. He just had his back, and that was Stella. That was the actual mismatch, 5'7" against 6'4", but he had his back to the quarterback, so he had no idea when the ball was being thrown.
Back to Montgomery. Finds a hole, shoots through that. Gets to the outside, and Smallsley saves a touchdown saving tackle. He's up inside Buckhorn territory, knocked out at the 40-yard line, gain of 19.
He just does this so well, and I'm sure London Montgomery is going to be buying that offensive line nice pizzas tonight or over the weekend at some point to thank them for their hard work.
You knew coming in, you saw Prep returning 5 offensive linemen, and they returned Montgomery, that this is what they were going to be this year.
And they spent the time in the weight room. Coach Gallagher said, you heard him at halftime. This started in June with conditioning and really lifting hard.
Montgomery, patience, rips off another big gain inside the Allied Services red zone. Another Keystone College first down.
I believe that was like 24, 25 yards.
Yep.
He is, I mean, he is just a real pleasure to watch. The patience that he has, but that offensive line getting downfield, moving those purple jerseys, allowing him the time to pick and choose where he wants to run.
He's going to be close to another 300-yard game tonight. He had 373 a week ago.
In one half.
Yeah, just about, one half.
Well, now, Coach pulled, I apologize. Coach pulled him out in the fourth quarter. Actually, London asked, he just needed to come out. And I said he's a very modest young man.
They're going to give it to the freshman. Give him a little taste on the end around. He's inside the 10. And it's looks like close to the line to gain. Going to be short of 1 yard.
They just go right here with the wing counter. He's coming, and look who's blocking. London Montgomery. He actually pancaked the guy back there. He is a complete package. Offense, defense, special teams. He's always willing to give himself up for the rest of the team. And as I was saying earlier, his third quarter when he pulled out, he would have liked to gotten that record, but you know what? He was more concerned that his team got the win.
Nope, Monahan keeps it. Monahan cuts it in. And it's a Cavalier touchdown for the quarterback, Sean Monahan, for 8 yards. And Prep extends their lead now.
It's the little things. When you are a running back coach, you tell your running backs, if you're getting a fake, you snap your shoulders. Look at London Montgomery, fake that. Puts both hands, rolls his shoulders, great pull in there, and look, right in there for the touchdown. Spread the wealth. Nice job by Sean Monahan.
Rinaldi in for the extra point. And Ray Jr. is up and good. And Prep now has their largest lead of the night. 32 points over Wallenpaupack.
You're watching Allied Services Friday Night Rivals, presented by Dixon City Hyundai and Performance Kia.
Gentile kicks it to Jay, gathers the ball at the 15, and the special teams for Scranton Prep stops him at the 30-yard line.
Friday Night Rivals is sponsored by Keystone College. Your career starts here with over 40 degree options, the lowest tuition, and a giant education. Register for on-campus open house on Saturday, September 25th.
So Wallenpaupack held the ball for 6 minutes to begin this quarter, but came up empty on the scoreboard. Scranton Prep marches down the field 85 yards. They score, and that's where we're at now, 42-10 for the 6th-ranked Cavaliers. The J right there, Jimmy Burke, pulls him in, and Jimmy Burke, I'm hearing, can lift over 400 pounds. He has the record in the weight room at Scranton Prep.
He does, and we were talking with Coach about that, and he said his dedication to the weight room is infectious because the other kids now are going to try to break that record that he set.
Weight room a big part, and it was something Kerry Gallagher was a little, not upset, but his team couldn't get in the weight room a lot last year. So a lot of kids had to do it on their own because of the COVID restrictions at the high schools.
And trying to do things on their own. Not all the kids have all the necessary weight equipment available to them.
Levant, nice throw. Smallsley.
Wow.
Oh, with the catch of the year, one-handed. Great coverage by Rossi. But number 22 shows why he's one of the best in the area. Pulls it in for a big gain.
Good job right there with the offensive line. Good setup, good technique, quarterback. Look at that, one-handed behind him. Pulled that in left-handed. Great concentration, and Bob, you said that's a great coverage right there.
But, you know, a great pass. I'm very impressed with Brett Levant tonight. A first-year starter throws a nice ball, and that's why he's being looked at some colleges.
He's a smart, hard-working young man.
And some interesting stories Coach was telling us about kids coming over from Africa, being adopted, and you know, some great stories on this Paupack team, and they're showing it on the field through this year. They might not come on their side right now tonight, but this isn't going to dictate how they play the rest of the season.
Most coaches, obviously, you want to win the games, but the most important is life in terms of what are you teaching these young men, how to be responsible, and how hard work does pay off. So, and Doc Watson was sharing with us so many of them. And here's our schedule.
We go up to see Mr. Dolan next week against Tunkhannock. Both teams, big wins tonight, so that should be a very competitive game. Then we get Scranton and Honesdale. Our first trip over to Honesdale. Then we have Wyoming area Lakeland, a big District 2 3A. And we added Berwick and Valley West. We already saw Berwick this year, but you know, pleasantly surprised. We saw them against Southern. They didn't look very good. They came back last week and put it on Crestwood, and they're playing well tonight against Hazelton.
And with the Southern game, they didn't have their starting backfield due to COVID.
That's right.
So that was kind of a hard one to scout if you were last week's game. And Berwick's, you know, Coach DiFrancesco's doing a nice job down there.
Oh, Coach Gallagher wants to call timeout. You know, this is where you become a better team on defense tonight. Even though you're up, he's still going to coach them hard.
You have to, because again, 42-10, and they have an explosive running back there, and their quarterback's very good. You don't want to let them try to get back into this game. And Coach, again, this is why Scranton Prep has set the bar so high. It's the little things. They want to make sure the technique is done. They want to make sure their coverage is right. We should get a mic out there. Maybe we.
Oh, no, don't do that. No, don't do that.
No, I just would love to hear.
I'm just joking.
I know that, Bob. I'm just saying, he's emphasizing, make sure you go here, you got this man, or if they're playing man coverage or the zones, you got to make sure, look at the quarterback's eyes. If you're a defensive back, don't turn your back to him.
North Pocono leading 46-14 over Honesdale. Valley View beating Abington 38-6 is the score. Old Forge shutting out Carbondale 34-0. Wyoming area big over Nanticoke 47-7. Lakeland big over Susquehanna as expected. Trying to find the Tunkhannock score.
They were up.
They were up big too.
29-0 at one point.
Over Crestwood 23-0 about an hour ago. So 29-0 as coach just said. So we'll see Tunkhannock North Pocono next week. See how that goes. Nice Wyoming Valley Conference versus Lackawanna Football Conference, and the Cavalier defense there once again. 33 on the bottom of that, coach. That's Calleran for Prep.
I'll tell you what, the way that these guys are, again, they're just trying to do a simple power play with 68 pulling. He pushes one man back, but there's three other guys from the Cavaliers right there plugging the holes.
33 is Mick O'Malley, for Scranton Prep, a junior. You know, the one thing Coach Gallagher talked in the media day we went to was the depth this year. He's over 65 players on the varsity team, 30-something with freshmen. And this is the deepest team he's had in years, as Levant tries to hit a J down the sidelines, goes in and out of his hands.
Bob, I said to you when the teams were doing their calisthenics, we'll watch this replay. Good job. There's, again, pressure being put on Levant right there, and Ajay just couldn't pull that one in. That was a nice play, the swing pattern down the sideline. But how many kids there were actually on the field stretching at that time?
For both teams.
65, and I think Coach Watson had close to high 50s.
Yeah.
So it was a pleasure to see that, and we got a huge crowd here today, a huge band playing.
Yes, the band was very good at halftime. Wallenpaupack band. That might be near 100 as well. Levant over the middle, and it's tough to throw. Golay takes him down. Intended receiver was Smallsy. And, you know, both teams not used to playing into the third quarter. A little winded right now.
And Rossi came up a little bit, you know, twitching there. He was grabbing his left arm again.
So it's fourth down now for Coach Watson. He's already gone for it tonight, and his team down now 32, so he will go for it here.
Oh, he's going to call timeout.
Yep, he's going to call timeout. 20 seconds left in this long third quarter. So both coaches going through their timeouts here, trying to coach them up, getting ready for next week's games. Wallenpaupack going to head over to the Chiefs of Lakeland and that passing game that they developed over there.
It was interesting doing the dream game and listening to the play calls from the Lakeland staff because they were just implementing their offense with All-Stars, and we saw how successful having All-Stars was. But Coach P is doing a tremendous job up there, Lakeland.
Yeah, let's see where Lakeland is in the district standings after 2 weeks, and they lead the standings. And Wyoming area, Western Wayne in there, Scranton Prep undefeated, and there are 4 teams, I think, in a very competitive AAA that it could come down to. Injuries and who's playing well at the end of the season will dictate who will win the district title this year, and it should be a normal district year. Just not a championship game like last year. Remember, we had Prep and Valley View last game last year, and Prep really needed to win that game to get into the district championship. We thought they were one of the better teams going into the 3A. Lakeland ended up winning it, and we would have loved to see Lakeland and Scranton Prep for that district title. Instead, we saw a very good Lake Lehman team, so let's not forget how good they were last year, right? So
Coach Gilski, yeah, he had a loaded team the last few years. Yeah. He's struggling this year.
The Chiefs won it last year, so they're defending champs. On 4th down, the Cavaliers take down the quarterback for a loss, and they will take over on downs. O'Malley in there, Golay in there. And a great pass rush from Scranton Prep.
The pocket collapsed, and as quarterbacks are told, if the pocket collapses, you just go right up the gut. And again, there he goes. But look, number 33 comes right off his block. Mick O'Malley comes off his block and makes that tackle. That's great vision. He had great separation on the offensive lineman to be able to do that.
So the first team offense remains on the field for Scranton Prep, even though they're up 32 late here in the third. Montgomery with 2 lead blocks. Patience comes back. Good job on the backside making the tackle for Wallenpaupack was number 8, Jason Reels. And that will do it. Reales makes the tackle, and that will end the third quarter here along the lake. But all Cavaliers over the Buckhorns tonight trying to go to 3-0. One more quarter on the way.
Hey everyone, welcome back to tonight's game. Now for as much purple as you see out here tonight, there are just as many smiles. I have the Lake Wallenpaupack cheerleaders for everybody's favorite Dr. Todd Smile Cam. Ladies, let's see those smiles.
Still smiling, even though their team is down. As we begin the fourth quarter, Bob I and Yancicek in the booth tonight. Just heard from Hannah O'Reilly on the sidelines. Coach Gallagher is not happy about something, and he calls his final timeout of the half. No more after this.
Well, and Bob, you mentioned earlier that this is the first time they're going into the fourth quarter playing. They're winded. They're a little bit tired, and it's more important that they're up. And it's easy to rest on your laurels at this point. And Scranton Prep has set that bar so high, they don't allow that to happen.
Yeah, the Cavaliers coming in, averaging 49 points in their first 2 games and nearing that. And good job by their defense. Wallenpaupack came in averaging, just around 45 points per game in their first 2. So you knew something had to give, and right now it's
the experience.
Yeah,
the experience has gone to Scranton Prep.
So there's going to run the time. You get a certain amount of time for the timeout, and that's what Mike Sayre is going to give them. It doesn't matter if you're on the field ready.
Oh, I didn't know if people were going to think it's a TV timeout. It wasn't us.
It wasn't us, right. Another end around from Weeks. Can't get the corner. Good job on the far side. Making the tackle was number 24, Anthony Martucci, stopping Weeks inside Buckhorn territory, 49. Third down on the way.
London Montgomery's coming out for a breather.
Weeks the up back, Golay, fullback. They give it to Weeks and just didn't have that power hitting the hole as fast as Montgomery, and that's something he'll learn going through the way. Oh, that's number 8, excuse me.
Yeah.
Quentin Palmero, the sophomore, number 8.
Palmero does a nice job. They run a counter tray. That means the guard tackle, you'd see them coming in. He takes a counter step, comes back, but credit Wallenpaupack's defense for coming and buzzing at the line of scrimmage and dropping them right there.
Fourth down. Rossi will stay on the field to kick. Only the second punt of the night for the Cavaliers. And Paupack hasn't punted either. They went for it on a couple fourth down. So nice long kick. It's booming. Stella from his 9. Still on his feet. Still there, and it's finally taken down around the 20-yard line.
Brought down by number 31, Morin, Connor Morin.
No, Aiden Colloran.
Aiden?
Yep.
Oh.
You had 30.
I did.
It must be your eyes.
It is. Long day, long day.
It is a long day. Well, Ben, I want to thank the Wallenpaupack administration for agreeing for us to televise this game at last minute on Wednesday. And thank you to the coaches for getting us the stats, the starters, and whatever we needed.
Adding us to huddle.
And adding us to huddle so coach could watch some film, as they call it, some huddle film. And again, great game coming in. 42-10 is the score. Both teams coming in 2-0 on the year. Jay tries to get over that right guard. Timmy Burke is right there, along with Matt Schnippis, number 34, the sophomore, on the bottom.
Gets a real short gain in there. There was for a split second, he ran the cutback up inside and just got that 2 yards. You're looking at the future of the Buckhorns team right there. That young offensive line that's gaining such valuable experience right now against a veteran defense.
Levant can't hit his tight end on the far side, Santiago. His first look his way tonight goes incomplete. Under 10 to play here in the game.
Again, Santiago's a sophomore, a 6-footer, 210 pounds. He's just going to get faster and bigger and stronger. And again, I know it's 42-10, and Coach Watts is a very optimistic guy, and he's not going to let this, again, we said, define how this team is.
Plenty of games left. This is only week number 3 for both teams. Third along now facing the Buckhorns. Came in averaging 300 yards per game. Prep has put a stop to that tonight. Big hit on Levant. Might have been Schnippis coming over, or Williams. Didn't see who got the quarterback. He jumps right up, though, and a big fourth down, and punt team is coming out.
Schnippis comes right in there, and again, that hurts. As a runner, you're looking somewhere, you get hit from that backside like that, and Schnippis is a big young man, 250-pound sophomore.
And he played a lot last year as a freshman as well. So he's gaining the experience from a Scranton prep team. So Liam Barrett is deep. Number 1, Roman Levant, as we get a 11th player on the field for Wallenpaupack, just in time. Oh, bat snap. Goes all the way into the end zone. Time to kick it, and he does. He does. Takes a big bounce. Prep will let it bounce and go inside their own territory, and they'll down it around the 43.
It's time to go Toyota. Shop Toyota's official website for deals. Buyatoyota.com. For special offers on a Toyota that's perfect for you. Go reliable, go Toyota, and let's go places.
So after the punt, good job by Levant to track it down and at least get his left foot into it. Prep has the ball at the 43-yard line, up 32 points, 8:15 remaining in this Friday Night Rivals game. We have to do a players of the game. I don't know who it should be.
Far stretch.
It is. I don't know. It's going to be tough. Well, I know. Somebody had near 300 yards rushing.
Almost.
Almost.
If he got 3, I think he would have been a shoo-in.
Yeah, I know.
And look at this run. Again, they've got a stable of running backs. Scranton Prep does.
That is number 8 again.
That's Quinton
Palermo.
Palermo. Yep, a sophomore. They just go with that RPO in there. And he just, look at that. Good determination. More importantly, as a coach, I love seeing that the ball security, 2 hands on the ball. He didn't want to have that pop out.
Interesting, though. You look in the huddle. What do you see? The first team offensive line.
Well, they need the work, and they haven't really had it. And coach is getting deeper into the season, and they're going to need that experience.
Yep, they'll go to Dunmore next week and then have to face Western Wayne the week after that. So they're going to see some big linemen. Palermo, he finds some room.
Oh.
He slips down, though. After the Keystone College first down, they'll give him to the 40. So a 12-yard gain for number 8.
Just right in there. That's just a base outside zone, and he does a nice job. And again, you know, you could say that that was the 21 or the 41-yard line that took him down the marker there. Again, the field's a little slick out there, especially now with the condensation, because those turf fields have a tendency to run really hot, and then when it cools off, that condensation forms on it.
Not the lake?
Absolutely, we're getting that
It's the lake.
beautiful.
You're taking the Fox 56 boat out, huh? So Palermo up for a nice gain to the 35.
I just got a score update from the trainer at Tunkhannock that Tunkhannock pulled out a 29-21 win over Crestwood.
Well, good job by the Comets to come back. They were being shut out in that game, I believe.
They were. It was 29-0.
Yep, 29-21. Hazelton is leading Berwick 21-14 for the score there. Dunmore, I have 21-2. They pick up their first win of the year over Lake Lehman. Palermo again. He finds room. He's showing some grit, and he's inside the Allied Services red zone. It's another Keystone College first down.
You know, I kind of almost feel bad for Coach Gallagher because he's really struggling trying to find running backs, you know, coming into Scranton Prep. Look at these guys. Great vision, great burst. Nice job cutting back inside. Again, that was a solid hit right there by number 13.
You got some backups in for Ethan Moses for Wallenpaupack, I should say. So
He came flying in, and he laid a nice hit on him.
So Palmero again, sidecar to give it to, nope, they're going to fake it to Baird, and Monahan slips it down. I think that was a broken play. I think they were going to give it to Baird on the
speed
jet
sweep. Yeah.
Look at
Yeah,
Monahan,
he said he.
So a loss of 1 on the play.
That was just in terms. It was a miscue. The snap came a little bit too late because the running back was in front of the quarterback at that time. 5
minutes to play in this one. Looks like Prep will move to 3-0. Wallenpaupack drops to 2-1 on the year, but still plenty of ball to play in 2021. Coach, already next week going to go into week number 4.
It's wonderful to be back in full season football.
A beautiful crowd decked out in purple tonight, all over. Palmero waits for his line. He gets a big push from them. He's up to about the 15. They're going to call fumble. Zayden Schock on the tackle. Let's see what the call is. Yep, Wallenpaupack recovers the fumble. They'll take over right there on the 15-yard line.
Bob, you were saying about the purple. Here we go, right in here, outside zone. Ball's up a little bit high. And you see they do the strip drill right there.
Great.
Number 8 does a nice job pulling that front fingers off. The ball popped out.
Yep. Called his name before, the senior. Coming with 7 total tackles, now at a fumble recovery to that.
See, now, Doc Watson right now he told his kids probably, look, we're going to go down, we're going to score. We've got to set the tempo for next week. We ran into a very good, very well-coached Scranton Prep team, and now we just have to regroup and we have to move forward.
Aiden Green now, the sophomore in at quarterback for Wallenpaupack. Oh, the handoff to Kiesendahl. Drew Kiesendahl, freshman with 8 carries coming in. Takes this one up for a positive gain. Also some backups in now for the Cavaliers. As we're shifting players in and out, we're coming to the end of this game.
They just go with the outside lead on that play, and 27 does, gives everything he's got. And what's neat to see is that these kids are fighting to try to break into that starting lineup. So they take every play, every series that they're out there very serious.
Kiesendahl again, right side, gets some nice movement from his line. Up close to a Keystone College first down. Host of players coming in for the Cavaliers on defense. They'll move the chains for Coach Watson's team. Well, even though you have a good week of practice, you still have to come in and face an opponent who's 2-0. Yes, you feel good about it. They need a better week this week now?
They've got to maintain that. Doc said that they had a good week. They've got to maintain that. They're going to have short-term memory. That they know that they played a great Scranton Prep team. Hopefully that they all can look at each other and say they gave it the best shot. That defense that they are going against right now, they're not going to see anything like that the rest of the season.
No, maybe
possibly,
not.
Maybe Western
Especially
Wayne.
an offensive line, yeah.
Yeah.
Now Lakeland next week again going to throw the ball a little bit more. They've kind of opened it up. Have the Chiefs, some of their wide receivers.
First down. Right in here again, that outside lead right there, 33 lead blocking for 27. And these guys, again, they're fighting. They want to show the coaches, hey, we know the system, and we want to be able to get in there and play. And it comes to that next man up mentality.
Liam Barrett on the tackle for Scranton Prep. Like to see some of the cross players on playing football.
And Coach Ide, he knows these lacrosse players. That's a sport I know. All I know is there's long sticks and short sticks.
You can come to my practice tomorrow for our fall lacrosse for youth, Scranton lacrosse. How about that?
Nice run.
Real good run from Green. Green to the outside, runs out of bounds. It's a Keystone College first down up to the 44-yard line of Scranton Prep.
I'd like to see him just tuck that ball away a little bit more. He had that kind of down and out and low. Nice job. This was a design play. I liked how we went inside, bounced to the outside. That's where I'm talking about, that ball carrying it out like that. And I think he bangs his knee. Yep, right on the edge of the bench there. But when you only get limited amount of reps, you're going to stay in there as long as you can.
Both teams out of timeouts, I believe. Nope, Paupack has one more. One left, yep. Again, quarterback, keeper for Green. Prep there. 43 on the tackle is Skylar Hefner. He's a senior.
Tackle by number 43, Skylar Hefner.
Nice double team up there, getting a good push. The Bucks are on that offensive line.
You know you're deep when you're putting a senior in late in the game and he's making a nice tackle. That's a deep team.
That's
a
very
lot of
deep.
depth.
I mean, a lot of teams now only carry maybe 40 to 42 kids, and to see that double here on the sideline, it's wonderful to see.
Even on the Paupack sideline, they have depth this year. So, Kiesendahl. Picks up a block, can't make it. Again, 43 there. FNR, the senior, making the tackle, along with number 14, Robert McGuire, another senior.
They were just going with that outside lead. Little exchange problems here. They're going to fix that. Again, nice lead block in there. And he cuts back inside for a short gain.
Finals coming in. We'll give you those in a second. From the Lackawanna Football Conference and the Wyoming Valley Conference, of course. Fumble by Green. He still has the speed. It's another Keystone College first down. I think he's close. Bo Riley on the tackle, number 17. So they'll move the chains again for Wallenpaupack here late.
He
in
pulled
this
out
contest.
a little bit too soon. You always tell your quarterback you want to ride that center with your top hand, and that one he just dropped. And fortunately, it bounced right back into his hand, and he got another first down.
Might be the last play of the game if coach doesn't want to call his timeout. Green again.
Nice gang tackle in there by the Cavaliers.
Coach Watson will not call a timeout. That should be it. Clock under 10 seconds. So two teams undefeated coming in. One will leave going to 3-0. That will be the Scranton Prep Cavaliers. They beat Wallenpaupack tonight 42-7 on the legs of London Montgomery. And Hannah O'Reilly will have our players of the game, brought to you by Allied Services. Michael Golay playing a great job on defense.
He did.
And a couple of nice rushes will be our players of the game. And there you see the two running backs shaking hands. London Montgomery nearing 300 yards. And he's putting on a show this year, having a career year, his junior year. For London Montgomery.
We saw two premier running backs tonight, and you saw the difference between an experienced defense and an inexperienced offensive line. Scranton Prep's offensive line really controlled Paupack's defensive line and vice versa. So,
quick scores before we get down to Hannah. 38-6 Valley View won. Williamsport's beating Mifflin 24-2. Delaware Valley lost to Downingtown East. Dallas beat Wilkes-Barre. Pittston beating Valley West in the fourth. Wyoming area with a big win. Carbondale with a big win. Lakeland with a big win. Dunmore gets their first win of the year. Mid-Valley is victorious. How about Holy Cross beating Hanover tonight, 22-14?
Hazelton beat Berwick, 21-14.
Thank you. Honesdale lost to North Pocono. And have some games tomorrow on tap, including the Bell game. Scranton and West Scranton down in Dunmore. Not at Scranton Memorial, but at Dunmore. That should be a good game at 2 o'clock. So I guess we got to wait a minute or so to get our players of the game.
In the Heartland Conference, the Montoursville area has 20 and Jersey Shore 27 in the first overtime.
Well, again, a battle of
the Heartland
two undefeated
Conference
teams there. That was one of those games we had on our Friday Night Rivals top 10 game to watch. Jersey Shore, Montoursville into overtime.
Bob, I don't know if I'm repeating what you said. Pittston area 16, Valley West 13.
Yeah, I didn't. Was that a final?
No, it says fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's what I had.
Okay.
That's what I had. So it gives us time as Hannah's going to grab some of the players. There's our top 10 going into this week. Southern Columbia getting a game from Loyal Sock.
Yep.
They were winning that. Valley View with the win. Williamsport wins. Didn't get a score on North Schuylkill yet. Forge wins. Prep wins. Jersey Shore again. Montoursville going to overtime. Wyoming area won. And Western Wayne will not have a game this week. They had to cancel due to a COVID situation with the Wildcats. So there's your FNR top 10. You can watch this week's FNR top 10 Tuesday night with Hannah and myself on the Fox 56 News first at 10.
And then Wednesday,
our vlog.
we're going to be together doing our video vlog.
Oh, yeah, if you want to come and watch us, a mechanic.
Hey, I might get a home crowd. I don't know.
Two teams we'll see next week Tunkhannock and North Pocono with wins tonight. So
both 2-1.
Yeah, both 2-1 coming in. So that should be a great battle up at North Pocono Middle School.
Nice
home of Steve Phillips.
Yes, it's a very nice venue up there.
We expect Mrs. Phillips to provide the dinner.
Home
cooked meal for this crew.
And speaking of the crew,
yeah, Alex Grossman, great job tonight by him.
Tremendous job by everybody down there. Gumbel on the sideline and his home turf.
Jack Malone, one of the cameras. Coy Wilson, Michael Molesta, your camera people tonight. I mentioned some of the truck guys before. Doing a nice job, and we're just going to await the Cavaliers.
I see Joby Fawcett out there ready to pounce to try to get to probably London Montgomery, I would imagine.
I believe our top 5 might remain the same. Not much movement this week. We'll have to see what happens with Jersey Shore and Montoursville. So that will be one of those things we'll want to check out, our top 10. Still waiting for our players of the game. Brought to you by Allied Services, London Montgomery and Michael Golay, 2 seniors. Looks like we're going to get them momentarily, Jan. But Wallenpaupack back out at Lakeland next week. Good young team, have some talent there. Look for them to contend within the District 2 4A playoffs. Nice job by Coach Watson's team. Don't want to give them a great round of applause. Sometimes we talk about the winning team a little too much, but a lot of credit to the Buckhorns tonight. They did a nice job. And let's go down to Hannah now as we get ready to wrap up tonight's Friday Night Rivals game with our players of the game. Hannah?
All right, Bob, we finally got the players of the game. London, Montgomery, and Michael Golay. Guys, congrats. 3-0 after tonight. London, you've been said to be the best running back in the area. Was that a lot of pressure coming into tonight's game?
People tell me that all the time, and I just stay humble, just keep working, keep my head on straight, and doing everything I can to work and get better.
Now, you started the night with the first touchdown. You set the tone for the team and continued to lead to the win. How'd that feel?
Getting the team hype after that first touchdown was a big, big thing. Our intensity got really, really high, and we just kept on going from there.
All right, Michael, not only are you a senior, but you're one of the captains of the team. How do you think you help lead your team out there tonight?
Well, normally I like to come out and just set the tone for the team. Come out and just hit people, clear the way for this guy, make big plays on defense, just do my assignment.
And now after tonight, you guys continue with this undefeated record. How will this affect going into next week's game?
We just have to, this week was definitely a good win, but we just have to take one game at a time, get ready for Dunmore and keep working.
All right, guys, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
There you have it, Bob and Jan.
Yep, they also, the Friday Night Rivals plaque.
There it is.
Another one for Scranton Prep. Final thoughts, Coach?
I'll tell you, great job by Scranton Prep. They were doing things, and I saw Coach Gallagher really making sure that they're sound technique-wise and fundamentally. And Doc Watson, he came into a very tough situation. And he's, again, short-term memory. They're going to get ready to get on the road next week for Lakeland.
And that's true. And Scranton Prep will have Dunmore at Dunmore. So next week, the Friday Night Rivals crew will be at North Pocono High School, as we said, for a 7 o'clock kickoff against the Tigers of Tunkhannock. So stay tuned for that. If that changes, we will do our best to find another game like we had to do this week, and knock on wood, it won't. But, we are in that age. Things happen. We have to be prepared. Great pivot by the crew this week, and if it happens again, we'll pivot again. It's going to be one of those years like we had last year, but we're glad. We had a nice crowd, all decked out in purple here at Wallenpaupack, and a great job, and thank you to the administration. We mentioned the crew did a fabulous job. They say thank you. And so for Hannah, Jan, and myself, we'll see you from Lake Wallenpaupack. Look for our boat out on the Paupack tomorrow.
You're watching Allied Services Friday Night Rivals, presented by Dixon City Hyundai and Performance Kia.